Dits! Hello, magical ones! Welcome to the Fairy Stitch vlog. I'm Fairy, and we welcome you today on this DIY episode. So I thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you'll enjoy this project we're going to do today. And so I'm going to show you the little demo that's already started but not finished. So I'm going to finish it with you, and then we're going to do a second one as well. So sit back and relax, enjoy, and we are going to make this cute little fairy DIY, right? So I gotta move my table over and get a few things in position, and we'll get started. So let me do that, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll see what we can do. So I've moved my little table over, and we're gonna make two versions of this project. And the first one, like I said, I've already got kind of started, but I need to finish it, so I'm gonna do that with you. And then we will do the second version, which should be a little bit easier, should be a little bit quicker, so they're less involved. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this this into this. Okay, you can't see it because of the glare. We'll work on that. The idea is I'm going to make a fairy birdhouse. And so one is going to be more for indoor decor and not so much being used as just being enjoyed. And then the second version will be more of a utilitarian one that's going to go out in our Faystone garden. And so hopefully the birds will use it. Hopefully. So we're going to continue to work on the indoor one because I've already got it started, okay? So I've already added my chenille fuzzy stick or pipe cleaner, whatever you want to call it. And so it's going to hang. And I've got this plastic 2-liter soda bottle that I cleaned out. Took the label off, obviously, and then I've cut a hole, and I hope, there you go, I think you see it. I cut a hole so we can put the items in it, and I'm going to decorate that, of course. And then inside, I've already added a little wooden stump, and it's got a little seashell for the fairies to drink out of. It's got a little button she can use as a plate, and then I've got a little book, a little red book right here. I'm sorry, there is a glare. Darn it. Okay, maybe this way. Try to get closer. And then I've added some tulle fabric to make like a little bed curtain. And then we've got a little plastic acorn nut. Then we've got some brown raffia, and I've got some little green Easter egg grass. And then I've added a little plastic or artificial rose in there, a red and white rose. And they've got a little fairy doll. She's already in there, just taking a nap. So we're going to continue to keep adding on. Oh, and I did make a little wall hanging here. There we go, with the artificial rose, and then I attached with some cord a couple of buttons and make them look like they're dangling. So it's kind of like a little chandelier wall decor. So I was trying to make it fancy. So keep in mind when you're making this, you can go all out. And I mean, it's a great project to do with kids too. So you're creating a little fairy house for your children, for your fairies, for yourself. So depending on how much materials you want to buy, I mean, I'm limited with what I've got, but I'm going to use what I can. You can go completely crazy. I mean, you could use fabrics, you could paint it, you could put the Sculpey clay on it. You can, buy a bunch of dollhouse stuff and glue it in and put it in. I mean, you could really make it extravagant if you wanted to. So, I mean, and you could turn it into a boat. If you turn it this way and you cut a hole in it, you could turn this into a little boat. You could have a ferry boat. So, I mean, it's got different possibilities of what you can do. So you can go as extravagant as you want, make it as fancy as you want, or make it just as simple as you want. Either way, it's up to you. I got to use what I've got. So we're going to do that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is try to position the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can hear me. I wish. I don't have a microphone. I wish you could. Hope you can hear me better. And then we're going to get started. So I've got a glue gun. I've got 2-liter bottles. Got 2 of them. I've got artificial flowers, fuzzy sticks, elastic cord, raffia, embroidery thread. There's I've got some tulle fabric. I've got some sticks, actual sticks I collected on a walk. Um, I've got some other. Whoops! I've got a mess. I got string. I've got this other kind of string. So, yeah. This is what I'm going to have to work with because I just don't have a lot to work with. But we're going to continue to make this little guy. So I'm going to position the camera. Hopefully you'll be able to see it better. Let's come down here. Whee! Okay, I hope you can at least see the table somewhat. Okay, hopefully I can be loud enough for you. I can't see the camera, so I really can't see what you're going to be seeing. So I just hope you'll be able to see it. We're not technically advanced around here. Doing the best I can. Alright, so this is my paraphernalia. And then we're going to see what we can do on continuing this project. Alright, so I've already got some fuzzy sticks I've twisted into like a little vine, and I'm going to try to glue it on to the opening on the little house. So let me do that as carefully as I can, because remember, when you're working with hot glue, you don't want to burn yourself. Okay. Ouch. Okay. Yep. So it gets it started. And I just got to finish going around the sides. Okay. Come on. Nah, it doesn't want to stay. I noticed the glue gun does kind of pucker the plastic a little bit in places. So, and once you do that, you can't fix it. So it gets to be a little unpredictable. Bend it. There we go. Kind of have to focus. I don't want to burn myself again, so I got to take it easy. But let's see if we can get this part done. Oh, got myself again. Okay. Stay, stay, stay. Alright. Okay, so let's attach these two pieces. Oops. No. It doesn't want to grip. It doesn't want to grip. Okay. Yep. Alright. It's going to fight me, so let's see what else I can work on. Okay, so I finally got that glued on there, so now we have a little fuzzy vine around the opening. Okay, so next thing is, we're not, I can put the cap back on it. Okay. Alright. Okay, so then what else do I want to do with this? I could do like some flowers around the top. If I had a string of them, that would work. I don't think I do. So I do have this little band of flowers though, so I could actually glue that. That might be kind of cute. Why don't we do that? Let me grab my scissors. So let's see. Snip that off. And we're going to need about 3 of them. Let's go with 3. So I'm going to trim this off. And this was a flower headband that didn't quite fit. so I'm recycling it to use. Okay, so I've cut 3 little flowers off the headband, and then we're just going to glue it around the top of the bottle. Oh, I might not be able to see. There we are. So I'm going to glue around the top of the bottle. So let's put in the center. I'm pulling it tight so it holds it on. Go. And I'm just going to hold it in place for a few minutes. Okay, now we can move on to the next one. So we're going to put a little bit glue back here. Back. Okay, I'm just holding it in place. Okay, now I can move on to the next one. So last one here. And I just hold it in place like the others. All right, so we've got a little flower border at the top. That works. Okay, so then what else we're gonna do? Oh, my little dolly, she fell. Let's move her. Now, I probably should make her like a little blanket. So I could cut some fabric out into like a leaf shape, or I could knit her a little blankie. I could use some tulle. Um, I'm kind of thinking I want to knit her a little one. So let me grab a couple of things. Okay, so I grabbed a little bit of yarn. So you could crochet a little blanket. You could knit one, which is what I'm going to do. You could sew a little one from fabric or whatever, or you could just cut out some fabric and glue the edges. That's easier if you don't have a sewing machine or don't want to do the sewing. So you got different options here, or you could just, buy a little dollhouse blanket or a little uh, sleeping bag or something, and put it in. So it's up to you what you want to do. So I think she doesn't need a really big one, so let's just knit up just for a couple of minutes. Since I am basically a knitting artist, you might be interested to see me actually knit once in a while. I have a little background noise here. we are getting it started. Okay, so I've got a nice little blanket started. So with the little blanket done, I can just put it into the little house now. Yarn out of the way. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So she has her little blankie. Oops. Trying to help you see it. Yeah. Okay. So she has a little blanket for her little bed. Alrighty, so I mean, we can keep adding stuff on if I wanted to. I've got little artificial flower petals. Not quite sure how I'd make them work. Let's see, what else? Decisions. Got these little flower bouquets. I guess I could glue them around the edge of around the vines. That would be kind of pretty. So let's see if we can. I need to cut a couple of them off. So let's do this. There we go. And some of the stuff is just dollar store bought things. So, $1.25 or whatever. You just buy some stuff when you can, set it aside. That way you have it when you're ready to work on something. So, that's generally what I have to do. Okay, so I'm going to glue some of these little guys just around the border the vines, kind of decorate it up a little. So let's put again. Again, you gotta be careful not to burn yourself. It's always a trick. That's always a trick. Okay. Alright, so that goes one there. Snip that and see. There we go. Just using the scissors to squish on without burning myself. And it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Darn it. Oh, come on. Don't come off. Bloody hell. Shoot. Stay on, stay on. Don't come off. Okay. There we go. So it adds a couple. Let's see. I do have a couple more. Let's see if I can at least attach one more to it. Okay. Now that went quicker. That went easier. Okay, very good. So it gets a little bit of flowers around little vines. So yeah, so it's looking pretty good. So I could go really crazy if I wanted to. Like I say, excuse me. If I had more supplies, I could color it, I could add fabric to it. I mean, I could go as crazy as I want to. I think for this one, and for the sake of this video, and for not getting too long, I'm going to go ahead and stop at this point. But you could go as crazy as you want, or keep it as simple as you would like when you're making yours. So that is the indoor little fairy house, birdhouse. Okay? So we're going to set that one aside, and then I'm going to start the other one. Like I say, the other one should go a little bit quicker because the idea of the other one is going to be more of a birdhouse for outside in our Faystone garden. So first things first, get a 2-liter bottle of soda. After you've emptied it, rinse it out real good. Put the cap back on it. Cut the label off. So use a scissors, X-Acto knife, whatever works. Don't cut yourself. Be careful. Okay. Ow. Get as much of the label off as you can. Okay. Okay. So got pretty much most of it off. Okay. And I've chosen the green soda bottle for the birdhouse because I wanted it to be decorative, but I didn't want to spray paint it. I didn't know if the spray paint would upset or, make the birds sick. So I went with the colored one. You can just use a regular plastic clear one. It's up to you. But I wanted it to be decorative for the video as well as being useful. And I don't want to harm the little birdies. So I went with this green one. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to start building the hole. So pick a part of the bottle that doesn't have the seam and then just cut a hole out of it. And the best way to do that is to poke a hole using either an X-Acto knife or an ice pick. Be very careful. Do not stab yourself. Be careful. Don't do it. Don't stab yourself. So I found a really long pointed new nail. So let me see if that works. And I'm going to try it here. Nope. I can't get enough thrust. Okay. Okay, so I got my ice pick. This usually works, and there will usually be a pop, so be be aware of that. Oops, not quite. There we go. Okay. Then you take your scissors and you get into that little hole you just poked, and then you just cut a door. And it doesn't have to be real huge. So I'm going to try just to do a square hole. That would be easier for me. So let's try that. Okay. Oops. Right. Okay, so it cut a hole, but it's not even. So let's trim it a little bit more. Plus, I want to try to keep the rough edges off. You want to smooth the edges down a bit. You don't want anything sticking out because you don't want it to catch on the poor little birdie's feathers. So we need to kind of make sure I get all that rough stuff off. Okay. So it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So there, I've cut this square hole into it. So you can see my finger going in. So, yeah, that will work. Okay, so now we have the hole cut. You leave the lid on it because obviously it keeps weather and keeps the dirt out of, the bottle as much as possible. Let's see, as far as decorating, okay, so what we need is, I have some little bird nest material, so I'm going to put some of it in the bottom. And hopefully the birds will like this and they will add to it. They will make their own little nest and add stuff to it. But if you get it started for them, at least gives them something to work with. Let's see. We want to stay with natural stuff. So I've got some twigs that I picked up from the yard. So I'm going to break these up a little bit. Put them in. Okay. Sharp little guys. Okay. And a little bit more of this nesting. And if you want to buy some nesting stuff, like I said, I had some of this left over, but you could try garden centers, you can try pet stores. They might have some things that you can purchase. Online, there may be actually some, you might be able to buy a kit, like a bird nest kit of some sort. So just make sure you keep things natural, nothing, with dyes, nothing with sharp edges, nothing that has chemicals. Try to keep it natural, keep it healthy for them, because this is going to be for the actual birds. So if you're making one like the fairy house, if you're making one where you want it to be, completely artificial and it's going to be a decoration and not used by the birds, you're going to buy little flocked birds or something and put them in, then you could go crazy. Then you could do everything you wanted. Go to the craft store and get as much bird nesting stuff as you want. And you can completely make it into just a decoration. I am making this one for the actual birds, and like I said, I hope they'll use it. So I want to keep it natural. I can't do a lot of fancy stuff to it because I don't want them to be scared of it. I don't want them to be, threatened by it. We want to make it habitable. So I'm just trying to keep it simple and nice. And that way, everything, hopefully they'll use it. Hopefully they'll like it. Oops. Oh, I'm going to keep just adding a few things. Got some other different kinds of twigs and stuff. All right. Okay, so that gets it started. So let's get some of this. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, so then I do want it to hang up. So I've got some string. I've actually got two types of string. This one's kind of rustic. So I want to go with the one that's most durable, but they're both about the same. So well, let's go with the safer one. Got to think of the animal safety. So just go with string. Whoops. And I'm just going to tie it at the top. Gonna triple knot it. Cut off the excess. Okay, and then I'm going to make a loop at the top. There we go. Tie it up as tight as you can. Okay, so there I've got my loops. It's tied to the bottle. Then I got the bottle. Yeah. Whee! It's spinning. So, I mean, it's really simple. It's really functional. And like I say, hopefully the birds will like it. Hopefully they will go ahead and add more to this. But at least by giving them something to start with, they're going to see it. And hopefully they'll be like, oh, this is almost all ready for us. Cool, So that is the idea. And again, I could decorate it more, but I don't want to scare them by putting a lot of decoration on it. I just want them to use it, and I want it to be safe. Now, I was thinking I could put some bird seed in there as well, but if they don't eat it, it could rot, and I don't want that either. Now, I was thinking maybe I could add a little something on the wall in here to put the bird seed in, but I don't know. I don't know if that would work. Plus, it means gluing it in, and if it falls or if the glue, makes them sick, I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of cute to do that, but um, I'm not sure how else to do it other than to attach something by poking a hole, but then the weather could get in and rot it too. So, it's kind of, I wanted to do more for you for the video, but at the same time, I have to think about their health, what's going to be best for them. So that's going to get the priority, is to keep it safe for the birds. So we're just going to see if I can poke this in just a little bit more. Okay, so it gets it started, and that way the mother bird doesn't have to work as hard about collecting some nesting. So that is our little birdhouse. So those are our little fairy and bird houses. And I thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you'll be able to make one of these and enjoy them, whichever one you choose to do. And if you choose to do the real birdhouse, I hope they'll use it. I'm hoping they'll use mine. And we'll let you know in the next vlog episode if anything happens. But thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you are already a subscriber, thank you. And if you'd like to donate to us, that would be so fantastic. I really do need the help. We have a PayPal link attached to the channel in blue writing. Please just click on that. It takes you right to it. And all you got to do is just choose whatever amount you want to send to me and add on a little note or something somewhere. I think they do give you that option. Just say it's a donation, and I would thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it would really help me to keep going because we still got a lot to do, a lot of videos I would like to do, and it takes money to do it. It takes money to do anything, right? So, anyway, thank you so much. Have a fairy day. We'll see you in the next one. Knock on wood. Slan. Arrivederci. Bye for now.